Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today I am going to be casting for you a best of 3 from the ASUS Republic of Gamers Assembly Winter 2012 tournament. Good lord, that is a mouthful, but spawning in the top right position as the blue Protoss playing from Team Liquid, we have Hero. His opponent spawning in the bottom left position, for some reason on ×2 speed, playing as the red Protoss. In the bottom right position from Team Evil Geniuses, we have GLiTCHStarCraft. That is absolutely right, ladies and gentlemen. Today is going to be a PvP match here on Shakuras Plateau. Not just any PvP match, but this is 2 Korean players, both very, very good Korean players that we've been seeing a lot recently, going head-to-head here at the Republic of Gamers Assembly Winter Tournament. So, how are both of these players going to be opening? Most likely we're going to see a very standardized opening from both of these players. Both players scouting right after getting their first gateway. Pretty much if you scout anytime before getting this first gateway, there's not going to be a whole lot, or before the first pylon rather, there's not going to be nearly as much. So you're going to be a little bit more economic if you go after the gateway. In PvP, well, your opponent can't really have any more than one gateway really if you scout right after this pylon. So you delay that a little bit, you get a little bit more on the minerals and scout. It looks like both players are actually going to be scouting the exact wrong position of their opponent, now going to be heading up and down respectively to get that scout on their opponent, just to see that both of these players' openings are completely identical right now. Cybernetics core, gateway, everything is timed exactly identically right now. Nothing at all abnormal for either of these players. Now, looks like GLiTCHStarCraft going for a little bit of a probe harass here, trying to prevent a lot of mining going on. See how Hero's probes aren't mining on that mineral field as long as he keeps right-clicking on that mineral field, because technically you can only have one probe of anybody's, belonging to anybody's player on one mineral field at a time. So if you get in there and start right-clicking on a mineral patch, then you can actually prevent your opponent from actually getting any mining. See how he kicked that one probe off of that mineral patch, and now nothing is mining on that mineral patch? Nice little bit of harass there from GLiTCHStarCraft. Gives you a very small advantage. Both players did open up with Zealot Stalker. Both players have their Warp Gate research now on the way. And both players are just keeping this probe in their opponent's base. This is critically important in PvP. There's just a variety of openings that your opponent can be going for, and so you want to keep a probe in your opponent's base as long as you possibly can. But look at this. Look at how well both of these players know these timings, both leaving the base right before the Stalker pops out. Notice for both players, they are now moving out with a Zealot and a Stalker on each side. Both players going to be taking the Xel'Naga Watchtowers, and it looks like they are going to be taking exactly opposite Xel'Naga Watchtowers and just waving at each other from a distance. Now, we do have a robotics facility after only one gateway coming down here for GLiTCHStarCraft. This is something that we're starting to see a little bit more commonly, but in the base of LiquidHerO right now, we do have a 4-gate going down. Both players actually now placing forward pylons. GLiTCHStarCraft placing one at the 3rd, and Hero placing one that's a little bit more difficult to find. This location isn't scouted nearly as often. This is a very common scout location for players, so it looks like he's going to be placing one back here, and once again he is going for this 4-gate, so he's chrono boosting out a lot of this warp gate research. Once that's done, look at that, just as that finishes, all of his warp gates finish up, and he's going to be able to morph them all and instantly warp in 4 units. He's been saving up his resources here to be able to warp in a good number of units. Now, the second gateway is now up for GLiTCHStarCraft. Look at this brilliant check by GLiTCHStarCraft, checking his base all over the place, making sure that no pylons got snuck in here at all. And now he is chrono boosting out an observer, but is it going to get here in time? The first round of stalkers has come out. Now we are going to see some chrono boost most likely getting used on these warp gates as he continues to try to warp in more and more units. Going to be poking up here with one stalker just to check right now. Going to see that there are some units here, but not a whole lot. So now he's going to be revealing that he's going for that 4-gate with tons of units at the front. Zealot going up before everything else, and nice pullback there right before that force field goes down. And it looks like Hero's looking to get a little bit aggressive right now. Now, Hero cannot see up onto this high ground at all. He has no vision up onto that high ground, but we do have one Zealot that was warped in here, I think. Did that one Zealot? Yes, we did have one Zealot that warped in to this northern position right now. Managed to get a couple of worker kills there, but not too many. It looks like only one worker killed, and these stalkers did get up into the main, but just as that immortal popped out, and that immortal was able to take down all of those stalkers, Hero actually taking quite a few losses there. Those stalkers just die so quickly to immortals. Immortals are just so good, and now it looks like Hero, he was forced to warp in a couple of zealots back home to be able to deal with that one zealot that was warped in by JYP, and now this pylon is going to fall. Now, how is JYP going to be following this up? Is he going to be going for an expansion, or is he just going to stick on one base and just try to go for a big push right now, knowing that his opponent has lost more than he has? If we check out the units lost tab, yeah, we can see that Hero has lost quite a bit more, lost all those stalkers in the base. He's going to be a little bit behind right now. JYP ahead in the food count. Hero is a little bit ahead in the harvester count, though. 32 harvesters to 29 right now. That's actually going to make a fair difference, and oh, looks like Hero is going to be taking expansion. He is on the Xel'Naga Watchtower, so he does have the bulk of map control at this point in time, but it looks like JYP is not really looking to gear up to take an expansion quite yet. Looks like he might actually just be going for a push here. We do have a first Colossus now being chrono boosted out here by JYP in the base of Hero. We do see that one robotics facility was created, as well as a very fast robotics bay on this side as well, but because JYP's robotics facility was just a little bit faster, his robotics bay is going to have his Colossus pumping out a little bit faster than his opponents. As we can see, the first Colossus is going to be out here very soon, and Hero hasn't even begun his first Colossus. Robotics bay not even up yet. Notice he also took that expansion, so his army is going to be a lot smaller than his opponents. JYP just going to be clearing all of these pylons first, going to make sure that his opponent can't be warping in any units behind, and there we go. The first Colossus has now popped out here for JYP. Will Hero be able to hold? And losing that pylon actually supply blocks Hero, so Hero can't do anything at all to warp these in. Seeing all those units coming across the map, Hero does now know that his opponent has at least a big force of gateway units. I don't know that he saw the Colossi quite yet, but he is now pulling a lot of probes here. He's going to need them, because I don't think he realizes that there's a Colossus here. He's now just trying to chrono boost out Immortals to be able to deal with this big gateway push. Couple of Immortals here in the mix for JYP. Forward pylons going down all over the map, and once that Colossus once Hero realizes that this Colossus in the mix, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And look at that Colossus just stamping down all of those force fields, as this push is not going to be halted here at all by Hero with those force fields, and JYP just pushing through absolutely everything right now, and Hero does not have a whole lot to really be able to defend. So much damage now going down on this Nexus, and Hero really just doesn't have a whole lot to deal with this. The second Immortal is going to be coming out here soon. Not going to be able to get a Colossus out in time, and just with that one Colossus, look at that, stamping down every force field that Hero tries to put up, and he is just going to be able to, I think, just straight up win this match. I actually like this move here by Hero. Every time he force fields, then JYP comes forward with that Colossus to knock down that force field, and that's when Hero comes forward and does do some damage to that Colossus. See there, he did it one more time, and now it looks like he is finally about out of force field energy. There he goes one more time, but now force field's going down for JYP as he manages to pick off a few units there once again. That Colossus is so low in health, sitting at 2 hit points, and it looks like he needs to be really careful. There we go. The Colossus does finally go down, but it looks like JYP has now broken the front of LiquidHerO, pushing into his base now, warping in more units onto the high ground with this pylon, and I think this is going to be GG for LiquidHerO. That means that we are going to be going into Game 2. There we go. GG now comes down from LiquidHerO, meaning we are jumping into Game 2 of this best of 3 to see whether Hero can come back in Game 2 or whether JYP will be winning this in a clean sweep 2-0. So stick with me, guys. Game 2 of Hero versus JYP in just a moment.